Hello and welcome back to Chat About It, Don't Shout About It with me, Rachel, the Queen of the Woke, as crowned by one of my haters. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed already. I really couldn't do this without you. I really do appreciate you being here with me. Now, a couple of days ago, I made a video about Rachel Zegler and her Free Palestine post. I'm not going to go into the intricacies of Palestine because there are other channels out there who actually do go into it, and they're much better than myself at covering something like that. I'm much better off covering woke and and entertainment. However, I have covered a fair bit of the fallout in that particular video. So please do go and check that video out if you would like to. Now, the realization for fans of Rachel Zegler is that they may not actually be able to watch the film because Gal Gadot is in it. And we all know that Gal Gadot is Israeli. So they were attempting or are attempting to boycott the film of Snow White. Now, I've decided to put this little video together to remind us all that the film was already really put out to pasture way back in the beginning in many respects because of the PR nightmare that essentially occurred during, well, really it occurred before the SAG-AFTRA strikes, but it really didn't boil into like oblivion until during the SAG-AFTRA strike last year. Now, obviously, if you are excited for the film and you do watch it and you do like it, then that's absolutely fine. You are allowed to actually like something, believe it or not. It's weird, and you are allowed to actually not like something. We are allowed to have opposing opinions. Now, I'm doing this really just to obviously to remind us all, like I said, but they may very well, if a quote unquote boycott does work, they may celebrate the fact that they actually boycotted the film, but it actually started way before then. So obviously eyebrows were raised when Rachel was cast as Snow White. Latina, that's very unusual. And then, of course, Peter Dinklage also had his very archaic little speech rants on the WTF podcast. And whilst he didn't outright say that, no divorce should be used and it should be updated and whatever, he didn't say that directly. That statement had a sort of like, I don't know if he was doing it intentionally, but it had an impact. Let's just put it like that. And now we have CGI dwarves that absolutely, completely defy DEI, so to speak, because there's only one dwarf to rule them all, after all. Now, Rachel decides to walk out. Well, I say walk out. It kind of says walk out from where I've actually read some things, but it's more likely that she was actually fired because she chose to go on strike when she was advised, and I was even advised, even though I'm not American, to not go on strike by the Actors Union here in the UK because you are under a UK contract, so therefore you would be up for a termination of contract. Now, due to her doing that and the fact that the actors during this strike were not actually allowed to promote any of their films, some epic quotes resurfaced. And I'll cover this one very quickly, just whilst I'm on the subject of the SAG-AFTRA strike. She said this.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Now, that is actually a very, very arrogant statement because buyouts actually exist for a reason. Because if you're paying someone for every hour that it's streamed online, that would be an extortionate fee. It would probably even make Disney bankrupt because they would have to go way, way, way back, and they would have to do it not just for you, but they would have to do it for all of the people there. So, that was her determination and maybe some naivety coming across there, but it came across as arrogant. And of course, we had some other things that resurfaced during that time. And one of those things was D23 Expo 2022 that Disney said. What she says in what I'm about to show and read to you, she said on multiple occasions quite happily. And she acted like she had been told to say it, but she wouldn't have been told to say something as extreme as what she said. I can't imagine Disney would have told her to go that far. I just mean that it's no longer 1937. We absolutely wrote a Snow White that she's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's going to be dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. In another interview at the D23 Expo, was also scrutinized on social media. In the soundbite, Zegler told Extra TV that there's a big focus on Snow White's love story in the original film with a guy who literally stalks her. She called that part of the story weird, and she said they didn't do that this time. Now, I will just contradict that a little bit. If you think about it, it doesn't actually stalk her. Okay, he appears once at the beginning and once at the end. Like, if you want to put ring theory to it, go ahead. You can do that. If he was actually stalking her, it would actually suggest something a lot more vulgar and a lot more severe than that. Okay, anyway, she goes on to say, we have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people would assume is a love story just because we cast a guy in the movie. Andrew Burnett, great dude. It's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. She joked that all the scenes featuring Prince Charming could get cut, adding, who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. And if you've been wondering why some of you have been mentioning the words Hollywood baby in my video, it's reference to that. Well, in my past videos, I should say.
That the cartoon was made 85 years ago, and therefore it's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power and what a woman is fit for in the world. And so when we came to reimagining the actual role of Snow White, it became about the fairest of them all, meaning who is the most just.
Interesting statements. Cartoon.
And who can become a fantastic leader. And the reality is, Snow White has to learn a lot of lessons about coming into her own power before she can come into power over a kingdom.
So naturally, that sent the whole entire internet on a spiral and caused a massive PR disaster for Disney. It was such a big disaster that they had to get Halle Bailey, who played Ariel, in to help her with damage control. They ended up doing a little talk session with each other, and her tune changed very, very quickly. The cartoon is so beloved. Can't believe I'm actually reading the word cartoon for an animated feature film or movie, depending on how you look at it and where you're from. It was the first feature-length cartoon movie. It won honorary Oscars, and all these amazing things that happened for that film are the reason that you and I get to sit here today, because it made Disney what it is. Obviously, that's comes with a lot of pressure that I've put on myself, much like the Hunger Games. There's a very dedicated group of people who love Disney cartoons. I'm one of them. I love everything that the Disney company have put out in the past 100 years. How do you put little baby Rachel at ease with what you're doing in your career? How is it that you come to this role and make little Rachel proud? That was really what I used to fuel my emotion on that set, because all the pictures are out there of little me in my Snow White gown. So Disney was like, no, you need to go out there. You need to actually make this damage control and say that you love everything about Snow White and everything that we've released. You know, not talk about it in a bad way, actually only talk about it in a positive light. And if I recall, I don't remember Halle Bailey saying anything bad about Ariel. With regards to that, it doesn't matter what my actual opinion is with the casting of Halle Bailey, the fact that she actually didn't really say anything, even though she would have met some backlash, it just makes her much more approachable, I think. Now, of course, this isn't everything that Rachel Zegler has actually said. So that's what was said back then. But now it's a completely different story. We just had the recent D23 2024 Disney Expo, and of course, Rachel and Gal were both there, and they were there promoting the trailer. So they go out onto the stage, and I want to actually highlight something because I thought this was a little bit interesting. Gal introduces the trailer, not Rachel, and Rachel can't even look at her.
D23 surprises, you're all going to be the very first audience to see our brand new teaser trailer for Snow White.
Did you see that? So Gal introduces the trailer. Now, I can actually find the interview that they gave with the other lady on the stage. That's okay. I'm sure it's more of just bigging up the film itself. But I'm going to show you a clip, which I think I showed, I think it was on Monday that I showed it. I'm going to show it to you again. And this time, we're going to listen to what Rachel has to say properly this time.
To share any kind of look with an audience that cares so much. It's been really, really amazing.
It's incredible. Like Rachel said, I can't wait for everybody to see the movie. It's classic and beautiful and inventive. It's just magical.
Yeah, as a diehard Disney fan myself, who I feel like I see every release, an opening weekend, it's like getting to show it to your best friends in a way that you're just like, you won't believe what we did. And so it's been really, really amazing to get to hear their live reactions too. It's just such an instant gratification that what we made is cared about so much. And that's a really wonderful thing.
I'm always grateful, and I have to pinch myself for the love and the appreciation and the respect that we get from our incredible audience. So yes, I'm very, very lucky, grateful, and privileged for all this love.
So there you go. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to chat about it, don't shout about it. Thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you would like to like the video. Subscribe if you would also like to. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.